Well, X, I think your very first tour was the Tri Nations, not that tour. But anyway, wishing you well with all what you do, X. But anyway, we're joined today by Bryan and Habana. I'm here with the 207 winner, Butch James. I mean, Butchie, when you saw those clips and you see all of that, I mean, what memories does it bring back to you?
Yeah, obviously only good memories, and like Jake said, it does feel like it was just the other day, not 10 years ago. So, yeah, wonderful memories, and it's quite emotional watching all those pictures, and especially the crowd when we got back to South Africa. That was unbelievable, a feeling that could never be repeated. Just seeing the support that we had back at home. So, I'm sure Bryan will agree with me, but that was probably the highlight of winning the World Cup was coming home and arriving back at OR Tambo.
Bonjour, Bryan. How's things done in the south of France?
Comment ça va?
No, you can carry on by yourself. Wait, first, Bryan, I mean, just before we reflect back.
Spanish, eh?
Sorry, bro. Aren't you in Spain?
Before we,
Habana, next time.
Okay.
Before we reflect, and just on your current status, how's the injury going? How far till we see you on the field, especially now with the Euro champs back on?
Yeah, Bobs, it's been a frustrating 6 months. Obviously, I think, like Butchie, getting into my old age, the knees aren't quite agreeing with me. So, started training again with the team yesterday. So, hopefully, back on the park in the next 2-3 weeks, everything being said. But, yeah, it's been frustrating, but just looking forward to get back on the park now.
10-year anniversary, what kind of thoughts come back to your mind when you think about that fateful night in 2007?
It's been an absolutely fantastic week. I think to be able to sit obviously all alone from a team aspect in France, but to sit and actually just reflect and look back at that moment, it conjures up so many emotions. I think the journey we went on over that 4-year period, the bonds that were formed, it's memories and moments I think that all of us within that group will take with us for a very, very, very long time. And I think we were all grateful that we were a part of it. And I think, like everyone has said, to have been able to come back to South Africa and see firsthand what it meant to the South African public was absolutely fantastic. Going to the likes of the Eastern Cape and seeing young kids run 4 or 5 kilometers barefoot behind that bus just to get a glimpse of their heroes, a glimpse of that trophy was something I think we'll all treasure and something that will forever keep us bonded.
Yeah, and Bryan, it is memories obviously of you playing in the green and gold jersey, and 2 to 3 weeks time you are back on the field. Any ambitions to maybe get onto that end of year tour?
But yeah, at the moment, I think for me, priority is just to get back onto the park for Toulon. Obviously, I've missed a lot of the season so far, and again, I think the priority is for them first and foremost. Given where this new Springbok crop is, I really think they're in good hands. I think there's been a great turnaround in 2017, given the disaster that was 2016. So at the moment, I think for me, it's about getting back on the field for Toulon first. If I then do warrant in terms of my playing ability to get back into that group, I'd love to help out. But again, I think that Springbok jersey is in good hands at the moment. There's some fantastic youngsters coming through, and like I say, I'm probably one of the biggest Springbok supporters watching from afar now. So, yeah, not quite too sure. There's another test or two in me. But, if I do get the opportunity, definitely grab it with both hands.
And I know, Bryan, I mean, there was players like Percy Montgomery, there was the Butch James of the world.
Yep.
Oosturant. I mean, there were some senior players that were there. The Bob Skinstead. I mean, the role that was played by the senior players. How important was that in terms of keeping the team together and going forth whilst going through challenging times?
I think that was absolutely crucial. I think when Jake initially took over, he had not only a meticulous plan that he wanted to put in place, but he had this idea of getting that core group of senior players together that not only ran the ship, but kept the ship on course, in tough times and in the good times. And like I say, everyone just remembers 2007. But the journey to there was not as easy and plain sailing as what everyone thinks. We had that 49-0 loss against Australia a year before, and a lot of downs. But again, I think within that planning, that process, the senior players really galvanize the squad in terms of where we wanted to go, what we want to do. And, for us as youngsters, I think the average age of that World Cup group was, 24, 25, which is fairly young for a World Cup group. But to have this group of senior players steering the ship, I think was made easy for any youngster to come in and not only excel, but to enjoy that environment. I think a lot of us really appreciated to be able to go to the likes of Percy Montgomery or Osturan, who had experienced the win in 1995, John Smith, who had become one of the best captains in the world of rugby. So I think that was a truly crucial point of Jake White's planning of where he wanted that team to go. And I think without that, the story might have turned out a little differently. If you look back to that Tonga game, and that 20-all team talk John gave to us against Fiji.
Bryan, just to look a bit further ahead, I know your near-term goal is to get back on the field, but do you think we can see Bryan Habana back in South Africa playing for a South African team again, or are you going to finish up over there?
I'm sure the Kings and the Cheetahs are playing in Pro 14 at the moment, Butchie, so I'm not too sure. I don't know. I think at the moment my contract with Toulon ends in June 18. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm definitely getting on in the years. I'll be 35 by the time my contract ends next year. So not too sure there might be a lot of value in me as a player, but I'd love to sort of give back in a way if there is a role or so back in South Africa. But again, I think I'd need to chat to Janine first. Obviously both of us know that sometimes the partners wear the pants in the house, so just about whether she wants to come back to South Africa or what exactly the plan is. But yeah, rugby's been absolutely great to be able to have had so many years playing this wonderful game is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I don't think I'll be wearing rugby boots playing in South Africa anytime soon.
Well, Bryan, thank you so much. Enjoy the celebration and an anniversary of our 10-year winning it, and all the best with your injury. And hopefully we will see you on that field, and we're looking forward to seeing you. You've always entertained us, and thanks for the work that you're doing. You're a great rugby ambassador, pal.
Cheers, Abby.
Thanks, Bob. And I think, just for everyone, I think the South African public in general, to be able to enjoy that moment, because again, as much as we enjoyed it, I think it was because of the support we had from South Africa. Playing in France, it really did feel like we were playing at home. So I think for all South Africans to embrace this moment and reminisce about what was a really, really special time in our country's history.
Au revoir, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, Bryan.
Au revoir à tous. Bonne soirée.